Alright, so today we're going to be doing Packet Tracer 3.2.2.4, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing, is step 1, display the current VLANs. On S1, issue the command that will display all the VLANs configured. So go to S1, go to CLI, enter, and you want to type in show VLAN brief. There we go. Seeing if you scroll up, you can see default is FA01 and it's active. Alright. Next step. Says on S2 and S3 display and verify the VLANs are configured and assigned to the correct switch ports according to the addressing table. So we're going to go to S2, CLI, hit enter, type in show VLAN brief, enter. Alright. Alright, so if you drag this window out a little bit, see, now you can tell they're all under VLAN 1. So everything is by default is set to VLAN 01, and then 10 goes to FA11, 20 goes to FA018, 30 goes to FA06, 88 is management, and 99 is native. So that looks good. Alright, next step. Verify loss of connectivity between PCs on the same network. It says, although PC 1 and 4 are on the same network, they cannot ping one another. This is because the ports connecting to the switches are assigned VLAN 1 by default. In order to provide connectivity between the PCs on the same network and VLAN, trunk must be configured. So what they want us to do is set up, before we do this, let's go take a look at switch 3, since they wanted us to look at switch 2 and switch 3. So the switch 3 is going to look exactly like this, but we just want to make sure. So you go into CLI, enter show VLAN brief, and there you go. So all these FA0 ports are default set to VLAN 1, and then all this looks the same. Okay, so now let's move on to step 2. So they said that they want us to enable trunking, or let's ping PC1 and PC4 first, since it says verify loss of connectivity between PCs. So go to PC1, you go to the desktop, command prompt, and you type in ping, and then you type in the IP address for PC4, which is 172.17.10.24. Hit enter. So it says ping, request timed out, request timed out. Okay, so they said that they weren't going to be able to connect because trunking is not enabled or configured. So now they want us to go do that. Let's just wait for this to load. Okay, so on the next step it says configure trunking on S1 and VLAN and use VLAN 99 as the native VLAN. Configure step A. Configure gigabyte port 1 and Gigabyte port 2 interfaces on S1 for trunking. So we're going to go to S1 CLI and we're in there. So we're going to go en conf t switch port mode trunk. Oh, hold on. Before this, we're going to type in int range. What was it? Giga port 1 and 2. So we're going to put G0/1. You hit 1 space dash space 2. Now you type enter. So now we're going to type in switch port mode trunk, and you hit enter one more time, and there it is. It says, oh, change state to up. Okay, so we did that. Now we're gonna set Gigaport 99 or VLAN 99 to be the native for Gigaport 1 and 2. And now you're gonna want to type in switch port or hit enter, and then if you hit your up arrow, the last command that you entered will come up. So you can just delete all the way up to switch port, just like that. Type in trunk native VLAN 99. Right? Now you want to hit enter. There you go. So now we're gonna go on to the next step. And this, what it says is that once you do that, once you configured VLAN 99 as a native on S1, that S2 and S3 are gonna have a different VLAN that's native, a different native VLAN. So there's gonna be like an error message, or just like I guess like a banner that tells you that you might have problems. And we're gonna move on to the next step. It says, although you have a native VLAN mismatch ping between PCs on the same VLAN and they're now successful. Why? So let's try that one more time. So we have on S1 our native VLAN is 99, but on S2 and S3 it's VLAN 1. Or okay. So now we're gonna try to ping again from PC1 to PC4. And before it didn't work, right? So we're gonna type that in one more time. And there it is, we're getting replies already. So we're moving on to the next step. It says, although you have a native VLAN mismatch between PCs on the same VLAN are not successful. Why? And that's because trunking has been set up on S1 on Gigaport 1 and 2, and then S2 and S3 were changed automatically by the dynamic chunking protocol. So it pretty much just, once you set it up on one switch, the other two will automatically change. And then it says verify chunking is enabled on S2 and S3. And to do that, I'm going to go to S2, go into the CLI, and then type in, hit enter, then type in show int trunk. Oh, there's that banner that I was talking about. Native VLAN mismatch discovered on gigabit Ethernet 1 with S1 gigabit. So that's the thing that I was telling you about. So just go ahead and hit enter, and we're going to type in show int trunk. And then there it is, gigabyte port 1. It says mode auto, and then it says status, it says trunking, and it says VLANs allowed on trunk. So that's S2. Now let's go check S3. So on this one, we're going to get the same message pop up right now. There it is. Native VLAN mismatch discovered on Gigabyte Ethernet 02 with S1. Okay. So we'll type it in again. Show int trunk. There it is. Native VLAN, Gigabyte port 2, mode auto, status trunking. It says VLANs allowed on trunk. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Alright, on step 2, the first thing we have to do, it says configure VLAN 99 as a native VLAN for the appropriate interfaces on S2 and S3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we just did it for S1, we're just going to do it for S2 and S3 again. Go ahead and hit enter, hit en conf t. Before we do that, you're going to want to type in int g0 thing message keeps popping up. Hit enter. So type in int g0 slash 1. Hit enter, and now we're going to type in switch port trunk native VLAN 99. Enter. Alright, there it is. Blocking. So go ahead and go back to S3. Want to hit enter. And then type in en conf t int g0 slash 2. Enter. And we're going to type in switch port trunk native VLAN 99. Oh my goodness, this message keeps popping up. So if you don't hit enter right before the message pops up, you have to do it all over again. So hit enter, and then type it again, switch port trunk native VLAN 99. There we go. Okay, next step. It says issue show interface trunk command to verify that the correct native VLAN configuration. So we're going to exit out of there. Then type exit one more time. And then type show int trunk. And it should show that VLAN 99 is our native VLAN. Alright, so there it says 99 right there. Trunking, and then 99. So that's what we wanted. Native VLAN. Okay, hold on, let me see if I can do that. There we go. Now you can see better. So Gigabyte port 2, and it says status trunking, and then native VLAN 99. Alright, so that was S3. Go to S2. Okay. hit enter. Gonna exit out of here. Type in exit one more time, and then you want to type in show int what was it, trunk. There we go. So there it is, Gigabyte port 1, status is trunking, and then native VLAN is 99. So moving on to the next step. Alright, so step 3 says issue the show interface switch port command to verify that the native VLAN is now 99. So go back into S2 and S3, and instead of putting show interface chunk, we're gonna put show int switch port. Okay, and then let's see, just gotta find it somewhere around here. Instead of doing that one, you're gonna want to type in show run, like this right here. Type in show run, hit enter, and then this should be a lot more easier to find it. So go all the way down to the gigabyte. Okay, there it is. So gigabyte 1 says switch port trunk native VLAN 99. That other command that they give you on the instructions, it says interface switch port. It's kind of confusing to find your answer right there. So if you just hit show VLAN or show run, like I did right here, show run, and then just scroll down to the gigabyte ports under number 1. It says switch port trunk native VLAN 99. Okay, so now let's go look at switch 3. And then so type in show run, like that. Hit enter until you get down to the gigabyte ports. 24. Okay, gigabyte 2 says switch port trunk native VLAN 99. And then that's on gigabyte Ethernet 2. So that's right. So let's move on to the next step. It says use the show VLAN command to display information regarding configured VLANs. Why is port gigabyte 1 and on S2 no longer assigned to VLAN 1? So let's go to S2 and then hit enter until you can, okay, right there, until the S2 with the pound sign comes up. Now you can enter another command and type in show VLAN, like that. Port 1 is a trunk port, and trunk ports are not displayed on here. See, you can't see gigabyte port 1 or 2. Okay. Next step,